Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam coming back to you once again, and this is from People, and this is in the crime section, and very interesting story. I definitely got a lot of questions. It says, man wrongfully convicted of killing Malcolm X is suing N.Y.C for $40 million. Muhammad Aziz, I apologize if I mispronounce any name, as always, who was 26 years old at the time, and a father of six, serving 20 years in prison after being wrongfully convicted of killing Malcolm X. This article is by TRISTAN B. And this is the gentleman right here in question. So we about to get into this article because you know I'm all about the movement. Okay. A man exonerated in the murder of civil rights leader Malcolm X is suing the city of New York and former law enforcement for $40 million, according to multiple reports. According to ABC News, 84-year-old Muhammad Aziz is suing on the grounds of malicious prosecution, denial of due process rights, and government misconduct. Ozzy, who was 26 years old and a father of six at the time of Malcolm X's assassination, served 20 years in prison after being wrongfully convicted of the crime, which took place at the Audubon Ballroom in N.Y.C. in 1965 when Malcolm X was moments away from giving a speech. Excuse me. Ozzy's co-defendant, Khalid Islam, also spent 22 years behind bars for the crime he did not commit. Islam died in 2009 at the age of 79, but the pair were cleared of Malcolm X's murder in November of 2021, following a 2-year-long reinvestigation into the case. And this was them at the time. I'm assuming when it happened. On Thursday, attorneys for Ozzy filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Brooklyn, seeking monetary compensation for the 55-year-old after the murder took place, the Washington Post reports. As a result of his wrongful conviction and imprisonment, Mr. Ozzy spent 20 years in prison for a crime he did not commit, and more than 55 years living with the hardship and indignity attended to be unjustified brand as a convicted murderer of one of the most important civil rights leaders in history. Attorney David Shanice and Deborah Francisco's, I apologize, wrote in a civil complaint obtained by the Post. Shanice, who also represents Islam's estate, told ABC News that the two men were in prison for decades, 42 years between them, as the result of outrageous government misconduct and violations of their constitutional rights. Justice delayed for far too long is a justice denied. Mr. Ozzy just turned 84, and Mr. Islam tragically died before seeing his name cleared. Tragically, these men and their families should not be delayed compensation for gross injustice they suffered, Shawnee said. A third man convicted in the slaying, M.A.H., admitted to his role in the crime and backed up Ozzy and Islam's assertions of innocence. Following the men's exoneration last year, Ozzy told People that the events that led to my conviction and wrongful imprisonment should never have happened. Those events were the result of a process that was corrupt to its core, one that is too familiar even in 2021 and 2022. I am an 83-year-old man who was victimized by the criminal justice system, and I do not know how many more years I have to be captive. Excuse me. He continued. However, I hope the same system that was responsible for the travesty of the justice also takes responsibility for the immeasurable harm it caused me. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office did not immediately respond to people for requests for comment, as always standard, but in a statement obtained by the Post, New York Mayor Eric Adams said, as someone who has fought for a fair criminal justice system for my entire career, I believe the overturning of Mr. Aziz and Mr. Islam's convictions was the just outcome. We are reviewing the lawsuit. And that is the end of the article. I mean, it took them long enough, you know what I mean? Especially if you, like, come on. Even the person that allegedly had something to do with it, allegedly, even told them, hey, they didn't have anything to do with it. And they still, I mean, at this point, it doesn't even faze me that, personally, doesn't faze me that, you know, it is people in jail, incarcerated, that's been locked up for over 10, 15, 20 years, and they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or, you know, was a fall guy for something to cover somebody else's ass, as essentially. Man, I want to go into it so bad, but, you know, I'm going to keep it cute for YouTube, because, you know, YouTube be tripping. But, we definitely got to get a conversation going about this one, okay? Let's see how this one progress. It could go to a live. It could go, you know, because this is my place right here. As far as like civil rights and justice and things like that, and human rights, that's me all day. I am glad that at least one of the people involved, Mr. Ozzy, is able to still be able to have some type of life. That does not, however, make up for the years that was stolen from him and Mr. Islam. Unfortunately, he did not make it. Unfortunately, he did pass on. But I do hope that if a judgment is handed down, that his descendants, his family members, will be able to benefit from that time that he spent. And on some level, spiritually, he gets the message that his name has been cleared and that he will have peace, okay, in his journey. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much as always for coming to my channel. I truly do appreciate it, as always. And let's definitely get this conversation going in the comment section. And with that, I will get with you guys in the next video.